Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica Gelter with an organization called Arts Alive. And Arts Alive is a regional organization here in the Monadnock region. Our mission is to enhance quality of life by advancing arts and culture across our region. We do that in lots of different ways. Let's see. Here we go. Some of our programs. So we support artists by doing workshops and coaching. We help facilitate community conversations about growth and development of the arts sector. We offer technical assistance to programs like Keen Art Walk, as well as a bunch of new startup arts organizations like Nova Arts. We helped the Monadnock Makerspace get started, as well as Ashwilit Concerts and many others. We offer the Ewing Arts Awards in partnership with the Keene Sentinel, celebrating the amazing arts organizations here in our region, as well as individual artists who hide up in the hills. We coordinate the Radically Rural Arts Track, and that is an opportunity for us to participate and host national conversations about where the arts are going and what folks are thinking about as far as how arts can help rural communities become more vibrant. And we just started an Arts Ambassadors program, which is a way for folks who love the arts to get involved, to advocate for the arts when there are advocacy opportunities, as well as just to get together and share the arts that they love with each other and with their communities. But the project I want to talk about to you guys today is our Discover Monadnock project. So Discover Monadnock Arts. It's something that we want people to do. So we built this platform. We built it in partnership with chambers of commerce across the region, as well as the Monadnock Travel Council and some of the larger arts institutions here in our region, like the Redfern Arts Center, the Colonial Theater, the Park Theater, the Peterborough Players. So Discover Monadnock is a website and a communications platform to share all the wonderful cultural assets and other assets in the region. The building of it came out of this study that we did back in 2009, I think it was, that showed that arts and culture audiences not only spend money on their tickets and their concessions and things like that, but they also spend money all across the region in restaurants, hotels, they go shopping. So the partnerships that we built with the chambers and the Travel Council really came out of that data, showing how important arts audiences are to our regional economy. So Discover Monadnock, there's a website, there's a calendar of cultural events, there's listings of businesses and a blog with stories about different things you can do here in the region and the different small towns. We also put out a regular newsletter of some of the highlighted events that are happening that comes out bi-weekly. And we also post to social media. We're most active on Twitter and Facebook. So check us out. I'm going to talk a little bit about arts in the region now. So the Monadnock region for many, many years has been a destination for creatives who want to escape city life, who want to be in an inspiring sort of environment to create, to think, to imagine. One of the famous stories is of the Dublin Art Colony, which was a set of artists, painters, writers who came up to the region just to escape city life. And they formed the Dublin Art Colony, which has turned into Monadnock Art, which puts on an incredible tour of artist studios every fall. Also in the region, we have MacDowell, which is an artist residency program. So artists apply from all over the world to come to this small community nestled up in the hills of Peterborough, where they get their own private studio for a couple of weeks or a couple of months to work in their field on their project in a very isolated space with lots of other artists. These are just some of the artists who have history here. Abbott Thayer invented camouflage. Barry Faulkner is a nationally renowned muralist who did a lot of works down in DC and New York. Willa Cather, author from Jaffrey. Amy Beach, incredibly renowned composer at the turn of the 20th century. And Helen Farnsworth Mears was one of the first artists in residence at MacDowell. She's a famous sculptor from last century. So that's a little bit of our history as an arts destination. Now, one of the great draws for the region is the classical and chamber music scene here. It is astounding how many chamber music organizations there are in our region. And it really speaks to this idea that while we may not be a big city with big flashy attractions here in the Monadnock region, we're very rural, but we've got all these incredible intimate arts experiences that are really high level. Two of the big draws for people to start a lifelong love of chamber music in the Monadnock region are Apple Hill Center for Chamber Music and the Walden School. They're both learning workshop opportunities for folks of all ages to pursue taking time with their instruments, taking time with professionals, getting trained, and really upping their skills in classical music. This has sort of set the foundation for other organizations to blossom here, like Electric Earth Concerts, Monadnock Music, Music on Norway Pond. And these are all very, very high-level professional classical music organizations that perform in small, beautiful, rural, rustic venues. So they're very accessible, they're very intimate, and it's an incredible, meaningful experience to go to one of these concerts. On the line of venues, just again, we're a rural region. We transform places for the arts. I remember a few years ago, I went to a festival where there was a band playing on the rooftop of the Toadstool Bookshop in Peterborough. It was wild, it was exciting, it was innovative, and that's the kind of stuff that you find here in this region. There are industrial buildings turned into performance venues. There are grange halls and churches. The Sumner Knights Chapel in Keene, oh my goodness, the sound in that room is incredible. And it's this tiny stone building in the middle of a cemetery. And you can find such amazing artists performing there because the sound is so unique and beautiful. Also have to give a shout out to the Colonial Performing Arts Center, which just reopened their really amazing, newly renovated historic theater in downtown Keene. They are open as of April 1st and able now to host large touring acts, and it's really exciting. I think they're going to have Melissa Etheridge come in a couple of weeks. I'm excited about that one. So as a thriving arts community, there is a great arts education scene here. The local colleges have incredible arts programs that graduate a lot of very talented young adults in this field. So there are also great ways to come and see and support emerging artists, both at the university performance centers like the Redfern Arts Center, the gallery there, the Thorne Sagendorf Gallery, as well as places like Hannah Grimes Marketplace, which teaches artists how to create products for retail settings, and 17 Rocks, which hosts wonderful pop-up markets and open studios. Both of those are in downtown Keene. So speaking of visual arts, there is an incredible visual arts scene here as well. And again, in all sorts of different venues. And I think it's really important, again, to emphasize that like these are intimate experiences that you can have. You can go on the artist studio tours every fall. There's, I think, 5 of them that happen within the course of 2 weeks. And you can go to a few hundred artist studios if you've got the time. And you can see what the artist makes, be there in person, be in the space where they create. And it's a really inspirational creative adventure. especially because you get to drive through all the beautiful winding roads and towns of the Monadnock region. I think also I definitely want to let you know about the Andres Sculpture Institute, which is over in Brookline. It's an incredible natural preserve with sculptures scattered throughout the trails. And places like the Jaffrey Civic Center, again, one of those venues that was something and now is something else. So now they have some beautiful art galleries and artist workshop spaces. So they bring in artists that are local and not local, and you can take workshops in sort of advanced skills in the arts. One thing that I definitely don't want to forget is there are incredible folk traditions here in the Monadnock region, from mummers dancing groups to contra dances to pick-up folk music and contra dance bands, Irish sessions. And one great organization is the Peterborough Folk Music Society, which started as the Folkway way back in the 70s and had artists like Bob Dylan come through and Tracy Chapman in the 80s. And it was a really great place for emerging folk artists to come perform. And they are still going after, was that 50 years? A pretty amazing organization. And then I think all of this artistic and creative work is not only, inspired by the rich natural beauty that we have here in the region, but it's also inspired by this culture of learning and understanding both our history and present day and future. There are so many opportunities to engage in education about these topics. The Historical Society of Cheshire County puts on a couple hundred programs every year, and there are great lecture series happening across the region. Francistown, Peterborough, Jaffrey, the Monadnock Summer Lyceum, and the Amos Fortune Forum are two of those. So how can you find out about the stuff that's going on? Like I mentioned at the beginning, there's that Discover Monadnock Happenings newsletter. Comes out on a regular basis. You can check out all the great stuff that's going on. Tell folks that you run into. You can post it in your lobby. You can forward it on to your email list. You can pick out events and partner with them to promote the region, promote coming. It's just a really great resource, and the calendar is really robust, has a lot of beautiful arts and cultural events. And as you can see from the picture on this slide, it's not just arts events, it's also opportunities to get engaged with the farming culture here and environmental education. So we also have a bunch of these great Discover Monadnock arts brochures. And you can get in touch with me to get copies of those. You can reach out. We have a contact form on our website at monadnockartsalive.org. And I would be happy to share these with you. You can also sign up to be an arts ambassador if you want. So that's my little roundup of arts in the region. Thank you so much for having me and letting me share all my excitement about arts in the Monadnock region. My organization is Arts Alive. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And we're just here to make sure that there's a sustainable landscape for the arts in the Monadnock region. Thank you so much.